Good morning and welcome again to join us on board. I want to talk to you today about overcoming difficult times. How do you do that? How do you do that? Most people, when they have difficult times, are somewhat at loss. Some people look for somebody to blame, but any of these things don't help you to overcome it. How do you overcome it? How do you overcome hard time or hardship? And you should know, hard time is coming our way. Hard time comes all the time. I mean, maybe we're heading towards good time, but most likely we're heading towards hard time because that's life. Maybe because of Putin, but it's not, If it's not this, it's somewhere else. If it's not that, it's something else. How do you overcome these things? How do you get beyond that? How not to get overwhelmed? Because what happens is when most people get into situations like this, they get overwhelmed and they simply shut down, and in a way they kind of cease to exist. And the only thing for them is to get some kind of like external stimulation, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, and so on and so forth. But that's not dealing with the problem. How do you overcome this? In battle, many times you don't know what's going on. There's like the battle fog, you don't know what's going on, how it's going to happen. And that's why it takes a leader. A leader is able to see beyond the fog of battle what needs to be done, how the army, or the military, or the enemy is maneuvering. Maybe he's doing a prong maneuver, maybe it's a double prong, and so on and so forth. Different things, you need to be able to see it. And sometimes you are in the middle of a grind, whether it's if you're a soldier into a boot camp, or you are in a hard situation at work or at home, or whatever that will be. How do you get beyond that? There is a concept that many times that people, and a lot of people adopt that, and I told you this, it's something that in Israel they call Rosh Katan, small head. Almost like a communist kind of a thing. Well, you told me to do so, that's my job, I do my job, I don't do anything more than that. Whatever you tell me to do, I do, that's it. And if I can, I'll try to get away with as much as I can to get away with. That's called Rosh Katan. Rosh Katan, small head, doesn't get you anywhere. Nowhere. How do you do that? How do you get over it? You just do the opposite. There's a concept that I called small head, big head, small world. What does it mean? If I look at the Talmud, how many pages in the Talmud? 27:11. Two people, 7 years, one goes into the other. 27:11, remember this. 27:11 dapim. To sit down and learn 27 dapim, pages of Gemara, it is an unbelievable test, especially when you see that each volume is like this thick. It's impossible to finish. So most people said, I'm not going to bother, it's not for me. I'll leave it for some gadol, leave it to some giant of Torah to finish it. It's not for me. And I'm saying, well, that's very interesting. Since you decided that it's not for you, you just determined that it's not for you. You're never going to do it. If you want to, you're never going to do it. Big brain, big head in a small word means I'm going to try to figure out a solution. In other words, most people see problems all the time. Only very few people see solutions. Most people see problems and they obsess with this problem and they use that issue of there is a problem not to do anything. In other words, the catalyst for their life is laziness, not to do anything. I don't want to do anything. There's a problem. I have a disability. I have a this. I have that. I was born to this family. My father was an alcoholic. My mother was I don't know what. These are all excuses. You decide if you will be unstoppable or you're going to stop even before you started. It's you. When you said, I want to do that, you need to think big now. How are you going to do it? Make yourself a plan. In other words, you gotta have a discipline. You have to have a vision. You have to have a goal. Then you have a vision of why you want to do it. Then you need to make a plan of how I'm going to get there. And you should not stop until you get there. And then once you got there, you're gonna say, well, I can do more. It's a piece of cake. I can do more. If I'm going to ask you, I want you today to do 200 push-ups. You're going to tell me it's impossible. I cannot do 200 push-ups. I can't. But 200 push-ups is a good number. Well, so, okay. How much can you do in one shot? 30, 40, 30, 20, 10. Can you do 10 push-ups? Okay. Then 10 to do 2 push-ups. Get down and do 10 push-ups. And throughout the day, do 10 sets of 10 push-ups or 20 sets of 10 push-ups. And at the end of the day, you did 200 push-ups. I was thinking 20 because 10 is like very little. But never mind. It doesn't make a difference. You say, at the end of the day, before I'm going to sleep, I want to check in 200 push-ups in the day. Now, it doesn't make a difference. Today, you did 200 push-ups. You're going to tell me, well, it's not 200 push-ups. If you do like, 20 sets of 10, that's really nothing. I said, good. How many you did today? Did you do any push-ups? You did nothing. I did 200. That's the difference. Once you reach that, and all of a sudden, so then you start at 10, and then after, 2-3 weeks, whatever, you bring it up to 20, then you bring it up to 30, and then you do 30 or 40, push-ups. So if I do 40 push-ups in one set, I only got to do it 5 times. And once you reach 200, you said, hey, I already did 200. That's not a problem. I can do more now. It's not a problem. But it's a problem before you started. Why? Because you only saw problem. You didn't see a solution. You had no goal. People are not goal-oriented. There's no goal. Therefore, there's no initiative and how to get this goal. There's only a problem. There's no solutions. So that's the big brain. Now, what's a small world? Small world is, I was talking to my nephew. He's going to go next week. He's going to go to the Israeli army. That they keep postponing. So he's, and I said to him, listen, Yoav, as difficult as it is, and you're going to have hard times, the day consists of only 24 hours. The day has 24 hours. So eventually, even if you are at the hardest day, that day is going to end. And if you can't figure out 24 hours is too long for you, don't forget you can sleep 6 hours at night. You have to sleep by army law. They have to give you 6 hours of night to sleep. Okay, so you take 24, you take 6. You're already doing better. So what's going to be only 18 hours of workout? It's not bad. And if that's too much for you, they have to feed you what? 3 times a day? Good. So you say, okay, I just ate breakfast. So all I have to put an effort is my 100% until lunch. And then I have to put my 100% until dinner. And then for dinner, it's a few hours, and then I have to go to sleep. Not a problem. That's a small world. Make the world small for you so you can eat it one after the other. When you look at the task, like for example, going to college. Oh my goodness, going to college is 4 years. Whoa, that's crazy, man. If I'm going to take you back to elementary school, and let's say you're in 3rd grade, so you listen, 3rd grade, you have another, 7 years, 8 years to finish high school. 8 years seems forever for you, because you're looking at 8 years. 8 years is a long time. But when you take those 8 years and you break it one segment at a time, before you know it's over. So if you have difficulties, try to find ways out of it. Try to make the best out of it. Everything has a good side, a bad side. Don't look at what's bad. Find what's good. Concentrate on the good. Concentrate on the good. create a focal point, pull yourself through that focal point, compartmentalize your day, in other words, make your day smaller, and then you're going to go about it. If I'm going to tell you, it'll take you 10 years to get a black belt, let's say, 10 years of every single day work. So 10 years, my goodness, if I'm going to put, let's say, minimum of 3 hours a day, if you want to get a black belt, you're going to be really good, you have to put at least 3 hours a day. You got to put 3 hours a day of serious workout, not like, having a cup of coffee, stretching a little bit, going with the towels, walking around the locker room, we're not talking about. I'm talking about actual hard work. A work that you come to a point that you're going to puke, and then you continue further. It's just hard. So so you puke. Okay, continue afterward. 3 hours a day minimum of getting into, if you really want to be a solid black belt. Coming in, working out, like, you want to spar? Okay, let's go. You want to spar? Let's go. You want to spar? Let's go. Not like, let me check out that chick over there. Oh man, she looks nice. Hey, Yofi, what's wonderful. That's not the way to go about things. You're coming there to work out. You're going to work out. Whoever wants to spar, I'm ready. The same thing applies like Havdil in Gemara. You want to learn? Okay, I want to learn. Okay, I don't care who it is. Let's sit down and learn. Doesn't make a difference. So if you're going to put 3 hours a day for 10 years, you're talking about a lot of hours. How many hours would that be?
30.
You have to take 10 times, let's say 365 times 3, and that's like a lot of hours.
12,000.
Remember the 10,000 hour goal? If you want to be good at something, you got to put at least 10,000 hours in it. Everybody has an attitude they want to be good without putting any effort. That's not going to happen. So how are you going to do it? 1 second. I got to put 10, 12,000 hours into that? I can't do this. And I said to you, well, because your approach is wrong. How are you going to do it? 3 hours at a time. Don't look. Just keep on going. On that, Chazal tells us, what does it say? Lev chacham b'yimino, v'lev kesil b'smolo. Lev chacham b'yimino. The heart of a wise man is on his right. The heart of the fool is on his left. Excuse me, last time I checked, most of our heart is on the left. Or more left oriented. So what does that mean? Okay, give me your... Lev chacham b'yimino. Look, when you learn in Hebrew, you learn from where? From left to right, right? So lev chacham b'yimino. Look at how much you have done. Don't look at how much you have to do. Right? Lev chacham b'yimino, lev kesil b'shmolo. If you're going to look at how much you need to do, you're going to be overwhelmed, and therefore you're going to find that. And the reason why you're going to get overwhelmed, because you want to get overwhelmed, because you're ultimately lazy. Look at what you accomplish. So let's say, for example, we finished Seder Moed. We did a Siyum on Seder Moed. It's about, a third of the whole Talmud. Talking about few hundred pages of Gemara. How do you get to it? 1 day at a time. 1 page at a time. 1 day at a time. You want to do it more? Not a problem. Learn 2 dapim a day. You want to finish the whole entire Gemara 1 day at a time? 7 years. You want to do 7 dapim a day? You're going to finish it in a year. But that takes a dedication to do 7 dapim. Excuse me, of Gemara a day. But it does not make a difference whether you finish it in a day, in a year, or whether you finish it in 7 years. It does not make a difference. It makes a difference that you find a solution and you sit down and do it. So one person, his pace is 1 daf a day for 7 years. The other one is 7 dapim a day to finish it in a year. It does not make a difference. What makes a difference is that you find a solution and you stick to it. Because if you do 7 dapim a day, and you only learn for a week, and you decide it's not for you, you're a loser. The guy who does 1 daf a day for 7 years, he's the winner. So it's not how fast it takes you to do so, it's how determined you are. And to be able to succeed is, again, big brain, small world. Have a wonderful day.